bittersweet.
It's retunes.com.
I cross my heart and hope to live in a world where I am not judged by the tone of my skin or the clothes that I wear. In a world where I can walk straight and men do not give fellow men lustful stares. In a world where fathers love their daughters enough to protect them from despair. In a world where love is ever present even though pain is there. I cross my heart and hope to live in a world where weight does not define beauty and the word love is not a snare. In a world where men do not beat women just because they're scared. In a world where pastors do not take advantage of the people in their care. In a world where the love of God is preached and men are called to prepare for eternity. I cross my heart and hope to live in a world where education does not make us more selfish monsters of greed. In a world where the rich are not selfish and take advantage of those in need. In a world where race is just a color, not a status you've achieved. I cross my heart and hope to live in a world where women cover themselves and treasure integrity more than fame. In a world where babies are not just byproducts of sex and mistakes with names. In a world where men are not slaves to public opinion. In a world where they take up their God-given dominion. I cross my heart and hope to live in a world where women do not have to resort to prostitution to pay their bills, and men have better role models than Bill. In a world where treating women as sex objects is not recognized as a skill. In a world where relationships are not cages and commitment is the force. In a world where marriages will not end up in divorce. I cross my heart and hope to live in a world where men are bold and courageous, where we have less Kims and more Kims, less Kim Kardashians and more Kim Davids, more Davids and Pauls, more men that are bold. In a world where corruption isn't the norm, where men take a stand, refusing to conform. I cross my heart and hope to live in a world where we do not blame our government for the lack of responsibility. In a world where we treasure our heritage and treat our elders with dignity. In a world where little boys do not have to shoot their girlfriends and cut off their heads. In a world where my innocent classmate will not wind up dead, and a few months later be nothing more than a cold case. Rest in peace, Ruth. I cross my heart and hope to live, to count all my gain as loss for the sake of he who died to save me from the grave. And if the day comes when my words do not communicate the fact that I'm saved, then oh my, I will cross my heart and hope to die.